Hi, my name is Amy. Thank you very much for watching, and let's make some bad financial decisions together. This is for entertainment purposes only, so if you're entertained, please like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. So, I would like to clarify some things tonight. First of all, when I was explaining the history of why my condo is the way it is and how I got my debt, I probably didn't explain the salary situation well enough because someone left a comment and said, like, if you're minus $700 a month, you can't afford pets. And things are tight now. If I didn't have the rental income and I also didn't have my distributions, but I can still afford my pets. So it wasn't like minus $700 overall. It's just that the cash flow from my condo is minus $700. So basically, on average, my life right now is $4,000, and then I have my condo, it's $3,000. I was making somewhat less than $7,500 a month 2 years ago. I have had a couple of raises now, so it's not very comfortable when your minimum expenses are $7,000 a month and your salary is $700, $500. $500 is, car maintenance and emergency vet bills, and like there's just so much that can happen that will breach that $500 buffer. That after I had my short sale, I just needed more money so that I have enough runway to pay off this debt before I earn interest on it. So after the fourth buyer backed out, I decided to have a tenant. So, like I said before, with just the rental income and my salary, my buffer goes from a $500 buffer to a $2,800 buffer. And a normal person would just say, like, great, I have this rental income, I have debt, I'll just apply my income from the rental directly to the debt. But I am not the normal person. I'm the person that the lenders told me to die poor when I got the short sale. So my logic was, instead of using this money to pay off the debt, let's use that money to generate income, because I know that in a year or so, my condo is going to be back on the market, and it would be really great if I didn't put that stress on my salary while I'm waiting, like it's languishing on the market, and I keep, getting buyers, and then the lenders keep saying that I still need to own this condo for some stupid reason. So the first goal was to just get $3,000 per month to cover the condo in case something happened to my renter. But now, because, my expenses, if I sold my condo or go through foreclosure, whatever happens, like if something happened to my day job, I would really love to be able to just focus on Yield Might or other projects. So instead of the $3,000 goal, we're going to go with the $10,000 goal, because if I'm making double what I need in order to live, I have enough buffer to be able to invest more. And just to make sure that I have enough buffer so that I'm not ever desperate. But I just did this visualization and made me realize, like, wow, I'm so ridiculous. I could have just, at this point, not reinvested my distributions for 3 months and just take care of my debt. But my distributions and my premiums would not be as big if I didn't reinvest what was already in my investing account. So I want to continue to work towards building my portfolio and my distribution so that I can be financially independent while also working through my debt, which when you go into debt is borrowing from your future. And I am Amy in the future, and it sucks, but it is something that I just have to get through. So, I also think that if I have a buffer of like $8,000 per month, that I can definitely afford my dogs. So, and like YieldMite and YouTube and distributions, none of these are guarantees. My salary isn't even a guarantee. My rental income, definitely not guaranteed. So like none of this income here is stable at the moment. So, but I do want to, I think what I'm going to do moving forward, because I went from just having $10,000 left to pay to having an additional $10,000 I have to worry about. So I paid card 2 off tonight. And I'm still working with the property management to get the details to figure out if I actually do want to move forward with this $10,000 AC unit, or if they can just, pop in another air condenser can and call it a day. But assuming that I have another $10,000 debt, the new credit card's still in the mail, but they need to be able to start this as soon as possible. So I'm going to put half of it on card 2 that is 0% until October, but it'll only take me 2.5 months to pay it off from now. So that is May, June, and July. So that is plenty of time to pay that off. And then the generator is $10,000 right now. So that'll take basically until December to pay it off. But that's definitely before January. I just wanted it to be paid off like well before January, but December works too. So, and then card 3 would just be the rest of the AC unit, because they require a 50% deposit. And by the time they do the work, I should have my second card. So paying $2,000 a month directly from the income that I receive from my tenant, and if it's below $2,000 a month, I'll use my buffer or take money from my investments, and a minimum of $2,000 a month. And then at the end of the month, I'll figure out how much extra money I have, and just whatever bottom of the barrel I have, that will be the new amount that goes into my portfolio. And then in my portfolio, I'm going to start, taking out the 25% that I get from the distributions for taxes. And then if I wind up making more than $2,000, I think it's $2,000 per month, I will take the excess amount and apply that towards the loan too, as like the 60/40 that I've been talking about, as like a modified 60/40. But like, is any of my strategy going to change with the market being so abysmal? No. There's a few things to consider, like, will I have $25,000 and therefore be able to do options? Because if I can't do options, then I really need to get out of MSTU because I don't generate income. It'll just sit there and lose value because now we don't know if we're in winter for Bitcoin yet, but we're approaching winter at least. So, and if I can't make income off of it, there's no reason to keep MSTU. So, tomorrow, if I do have $25,000, I did a couple of stupid things that I would like to be able to correct. So, knocking on the wood, but tomorrow I'll move my SPY leaps so that I only have $9,000 of option collateral instead of $13,000 of option collateral, and that should help me with my margin buffer in case I do go below $25,000 and I can't do options anymore, because I don't have any more buffer in my checking account to rescue my taxable brokerage. I mean, I looked tonight and it won't be comfortable, but if something dire really happens, I could help my taxable brokerage to keep above the $25,000. It's just more convenient with all of the options collateral that I've been juggling for me to meet the minimum requirements for me to be able to trade options. So I still like Misty. I still like XDTE. I still think that should be the majority of my portfolio because even if I can't do my own options, they still pay me money. They'll pay me in distributions. Those distributions I can use to DCA. It forces me to pace myself. I reinvest in the things that I want, which at this moment in time, I should want basically just XDTE. And when the market recovers and I have $25,000 again, I can start up my MSTU wheel and my Misty wheel and like keep my MicroStrategy options alive that I want to get into. So I think the best strategy for these recessions, and this is my first one as an adult that has money, just invest like you did in the bull market, because things like Nvidia and Palantir and the rest of the Mag 7 and everything like that, they're getting hit the hardest, but they'll also bounce back way more. So why waste time putting your stuff into safer things when it won't recover as nicely? This is spoken as someone young enough that my portfolio will eventually recover and I'll be better off. So, and then conversely, this isn't like an ageist thing. It's probably more like if you had more investment to protect and you're in early retirement, or you're actually relying on this, that you should have been in more conservative investments in the first place. And so hopefully now that the market is bad and a lot of people are losing a lot of their money, hopefully you're not feeling it as badly because you were in safer investments in the first place. But yeah, we are definitely in for a interesting time, and hopefully I can navigate this without getting margin called too much and be able to continue to do options. But if not, I'll just have to close the positions that I have and go more into XDTE and Misty and just keep having faith that someday this will be much better. Like, I haven't really been buying anything except for XDTE. I'm now, like, I really don't look forward to not having getting really close to $25,000 and then having to figure out how to, like, unravel all of these put options that I have out, while also not having to have too much margin. But I wasn't buying Misty, but then it was like $17, and that's a really good price. So I'm going to wish I had more money to, if Misty goes below $15 and it's like $12 or whatever, I'll just have to risk a margin call to get that, because that's a really good price for Misty. And when MicroStrategy recovers, it's done a good job in the past of moving with the underlying. And so I'm still am a believer in strategy and MicroStrategy. So, but I did not mean to do X. There we go. So I have gone, like, I only had like 10 shares before, but now I have 133 shares of XDT. So this is what the majority of my money has been going to. This is what the majority of my money should be going to until, at the very least, the market value of this is equal to the amount of options collateral that I have. And then also, like, this should be closer to basically like 40% of my portfolio. So, I have a ways to go, but at this point, XDTE is my hedge against strategy and Misty. But I did wind up, now that I'm talking about my trades, I did buy SMST, and yesterday I was like, oh no, it's going up a lot. But I bought it at $4.78. I have a cover call out on it for $5. So for the moment, this is doing a nice job of counterbalancing all of the strategy that I have, but it's probably going to get called away. And then the put I have is probably going to expire worthless, but it is what it is. But yeah, basically I have learned no lessons, and I'm going to continue to try to keep this alive because I'm happy with everything that I'm invested in now. So anyways, how has your investing philosophy evolved with this newest bear market, and what are you doing to make sure that you're safe enough that you can survive these times? And I'll talk to you later. Bye.